the goal in chapter 1 is so that you guys get a rough idea, get a feel of how internet is like. There'll be a lot more depth and detail later in the course in chapter 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so you will see, right, this being the overview of everything, much of the content you'll be hearing in this chapter will be more descriptions. Okay, so we have this part that's called the edge of the internet. We have that part being called the core of the internet. Yeah, so you just hear a bunch of terms, and then there'll be a little bit more elaboration on the terms. And much of the content concerns internet, but we'll also talk about parts that, communication networks that is not quite called internet and pre-existed before there's internet. Good. And the flow of the chapter is this. We'll start from giving you a nutshell of what internet is in a few slides, like 3-4 slides. Okay, so it's like a crash course. Okay, if you really need to explain to your classmates or other friends, you're taking this course and what is the internet like? Yeah, that will be the part that you tell them what internet is. Now, in that part, we'll give you the physical view of what the internet is. But with just the infrastructure, we cannot be sending emails to each other. We cannot be chatting online through Line or through Slack to each other. So there'll be some rules we need to define how the data are being exchanged, how these computers or entities on the internet interact with each other. So there'll be some rules we need to learn as well. And we call a set of rules controlling a certain mechanism, defining a certain mechanism working on the internet, a protocol. Okay, there'll be a lot more coming. And then these two will be actually to further, zoom into the nutshell view of the internet and to give you a little bit more idea how the edge is like and what are the varieties of the edges could be. And then we'll talk about the core. We'll talk about the core. Yeah, this is actually the part that's hidden. They exist, it's just that we don't see it. Okay, there are lots of very expensive routers. They are interconnected, passing data in really, really high speed. So up to this point, you should get a rough feeling of what the internet is and how it's, working in general. Now, the rest of it. Okay, so these are the things concerning internet and that we are supposed to care. Okay, as engineers who might be redesigning internet. So we care about how the internet performs in terms of data loss. Certainly, we don't like to see a lot of data losses. We care also whether it takes a lot of time to send data. Okay, hopefully we will be able to send data with short delay and things like that. And we'll talk about, you see protocol again. There are quite a few protocols that we use actually sending email, browsing the web every day. And there's actually a very special way we group also protocols. So earlier you heard Polly trying to exercise you a little bit more and trying to link certain terms together. You know what? The protocols, because there's so many of these, okay, it's actually better that we kind of structure or sort of group the protocol so that it's a little bit easier to talk about. Okay. And the way network engineers group the protocol is so that we kind of divide them into layers. Within each layer, they are associated, they are similar in a certain way. Okay, so that's also called the service models. Okay, so it's actually a model that network engineers communicate with each other. Okay, classifying protocols into different layers. And then this is nowadays something that we care very much, security, particularly network security. How do we make sure that the data being transmitted are not hijacked, are not hacked, okay, and the secrets are not unveiled?